And if you don't love me, let me go. I'm a writer of fictions. Taking back to the start. What it do? 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 Quack, quack, quack.
I'll just keep dying. We're in the guest bedroom when they're here.
Yeah. That'll work. Hey, Paul, hey, Paul, hey, Paul, let's have a ball. Wow. Wow. Are you a songwriter? Hello, Brecky boy. Hello, Captain Brecky.
When your dad was here, he was just too excited to eat brekkie most of the time.
Back on your Brecky bullshit, though.
Yeah.
Damn, is that weed? Nah, dude. Nah. I never touch the stuff. This is non-alcoholic weed. It's like, like O'Doul's. You ever seen O'Doul's beer? It's like for people who want to have like the feeling of smoking weed, but really it's just sawdust. You know what I mean? Yeah. What? Have I narrowed down which dive watch I want? No. Well, yeah, kinda. I mean, I have a couple picked out that I would get, but dive watches, like for me, I feel like the dress watches and the utility watches that I have, all of them in a micro brand have an intersection of quality and price that's right around 400 bucks, right? Maybe 5 or 6, but somewhere in that zone, right? And I feel like that intersection happens at a higher price in dive watches. So like $1,100 is where you get like a really good micro brand dive watch. And I just like, come on, dude. Like, it's a little much. It's a little much.
Something to strive for.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not like I'm fucking dying to have it or anything. Yeah. One of those things. I feel like at that level, see that the problem is that like 1,100, 1,200 bucks is another price intersection where you can get used and vintage major brand watches for around that much.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I were about to spend $1,100, $1,200 on a new micro brand dive watch, I could get for about $1,200. I could get a vintage Omega Seamaster. Okay, well there you go. Like that's a badass dive watch. You know what I mean? I could get like a 70s or an 80s Omega Seamaster for $1,100. Where did I get these glasses? The Gay Parade? Oh, how did you know? There was a whole float full of drag queens, and they were like, "Get eyeglasses here, get eyeglasses here," and I was like, "I'll take some." Yeah, I think I did work with your Uncle Nick. Insults so lame that they're not even insulting. It's like, did you get your glasses from a drag queen? It's like, man, if there was a place to go buy eyeglasses that was owned by a drag queen, I'd go there first. You know, like, only in your strange little world is association with a drag queen a bad thing. Only in your strange, closed off little world is purchasing something from a drag queen a bad thing. We've reached that point.
What else would you rather be staffed entirely by drag queens? Motivate you to go do something more?
Oh man, I think that like drag queen is like femboy. I think drag queen Hooters would be awesome.
Yeah.
I think drag queen car wash.
Yeah.
We could do drag queen car wash like to raise money, you know. Drag queen church would be awesome. Like I'd probably convert to Christianity if there was an all drag queen church.
Yeah.
Drag queen news ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Drag queen news ladies. Yeah. I like that. That's what I'm saying. It's just like some people are stuck in like the 90s, I guess, where they're just like, for them, the barest association with a gay person or that you might be gay is like the most ridiculous fucking insult you could possibly have. It's like, fuck, bro. Have you been asleep? Have you been in cryostasis since the 90s or something? Didn't expect me in the doom scroll, but I'm the doomer. I'm perfect for doom scrolling. This is where you want to land if you're doom scrolling because I'm about as doomer as they come. Oh shit, it's Bob Loblaw from the Bob Loblaw Law blog. Yeah, if you know, you know. Bob Loblaw. And make sure you visit Bob Loblaw's law blog. I'm here because of doom scrolling. One's in the chat if you just kind of like cruised by and stopped because you were doom scrolling. I'm just wondering. Throw up them ones. If you're just like a doom scroller and you're just listening, you know, throw them up. I'm just interested to see. A lot of you.
Thing you mentioned, I
Mm.
wonder if there are people going to law school right now that have no intention of practicing law that just want to be a lawyer on YouTube.
They want to just do law tube or whatever. Yeah, probably. Yeah. The mood's probably gonna kick me. No. I'm just curious, like how many of you folks like cruise by for the doom scroll.
It's probably not a bad strategy. Tell kids like the real YouTubers that make money are professional, so go get your professional degree, and then when they don't make it on YouTube, at least they have a degree.
Degree in what though?
Like law or medicine or whatever. To say.
Yeah, be a med tuber
Yeah.
or whatever.
And then if they fail, they got a useful degree.
That's true. I don't know how I feel about somebody who wants to be a skibbity tuber, like their fallback being doctor. You know, like I don't know, man. But yeah, couldn't hoit. One shit, always jumping when I see Paul live. Nice beard, thanks. It was really tough to grow. I had to stop shaving, if you believe it. So it's nice for people to give you props, you know, because it is tough not shaving. Same thing with my hair. I had to stop getting haircuts. How long did it take me? I mean, that question's hard to answer because I've had a beard since...
I think at least 10 years.
It's been over 10 years now.
10 years, yeah.
Been over a decade now because I've had a beard since before I started DP, and this is 10 years on DP, or 10 years since I joined DP this year. So it has to be more like 15 or maybe even 20 years. I don't remember the last time I shaved off my beard, but I remember regretting it. But yeah, it might be like 15 years. If I had to take a stab, I'd say 15. I think last time I talked to you on streams, you were talking about how fucked up the younger generations are. Yeah, that's a common topic here. Yeah, I think it's out of genuine empathy that I rant about those things. Though kids don't have a choice, you know. So you see a dumbass adult that's dumb by choice. It's one thing. A kid being dumb, you know, like fucking. They're kids. They're supposed to be. Who fucked up the younger generation? A generation that used to be the younger generation. My generation, honestly, is probably most to blame for the current crop of failure to launches. Who fucked up the world the younger generation is born into. Yeah, once again, that would be my generation and the generation before that, right? The last two generations have been a little bit special, Tyler. The last two have been a little bit. There's some awesome stuff, you know.
Sorry.
It's okay. No worries. That's a good song. Give it to me, baby. What's the best type of beans and rice to make, in your opinion?
We just do the Zatarans.
Zatarans. Oh, beans and rice. We do other beans and rice. We do the black beans and white rice, the
Yeah.
bowls. I like that, man. I like black beans with cilantro rice, and then you just throw some salsa in there and some cheese on it. That's pretty good. The fucking iPads are raising kids now. Yeah. Dude, there's this picture that lives rent free in my fucking head. I saw it like 5 years ago, and it lives rent free in my head. And it was just like, there was no caption, there was no meme to it. It was just a picture of this cool castle swing set playground thing. And there are like 6 kids on it, but all of them are sitting on it and looking at their cell phones or a tablet. And I was like, somebody just like snapped that picture, I think, for the irony. And dude, it has been rent free in my fucking head. I was just like, wow, holy shit. The truth laid bare. Are you old? I mean, it's a matter of opinion, right? I feel pretty old. I think I'm old. But every time I say that to somebody that's older than me, they go like, you ain't old. You're young. That's kind of scary. Because I already feel hella old. But bless.
I forgot you were gonna take allergy stuff today.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Spring has sprung. Oi. Kids just aimlessly walking to the street. Yeah. My kid's currently playing in a blanket fort in my living room because it's been raining outside. No tablet. Oh, get that kid a cell phone, you freak. You expect your kid to play inside on a rainy day? Find something to do? Get that kid a tablet.
It's when they started putting those bumper cases on it. That's when it was over.
Yeah. First time I saw that, I was over at a friend's house, and another friend of ours came over who had a little kid with the big chunky thing.
Handles.
And it was like, for me, it was like, I was like, oh shit. You know, it was like one of the only times I'd gotten to interact with one of my friends' kids. You know what I mean? I thought like it was going to be like when I was a kid hanging around with my parents and all their friends and stuff. And the kid just wasn't interested in human beings at all. It was like didn't give a shit. You know, I was introduced to the kid and the kid just barely like looked up and was like, oh, right back to the, you know what I mean? So that was my first run-in with that. I got a house full of adults, you know, talking, laughing, and that kid couldn't be happier sitting alone at the dining room table with an iPad for 8 hours. I mean, the kid never even asked for anything, never wanted anything, you know, never wandered off, and everybody was like, where's the kid? The kid is right there at the dining room table by himself with a giant with an iPad with a giant red and blue rubber protective thing around it. I used to watch these group video chats you used to do years ago, but never joined because you had an age restriction. Just turned 28, so cheers. Oh, yeah. You beat stick ham and beer or whatever the fuck. Yeah, those are pretty fucking old. 10 years ago or more that I did those. But yeah, I mean, I've always maintained age restrictions for interaction. You know what I mean? I can't stop a 16-year-old from quietly watching what I do. But if you're going to be part of this and talking to people and trying to talk to me, you got to be 18, bro. You know what I mean? That goes all the way back. Now you're 28, obviously, old enough to participate in chit chat.
Yeah, you learned your lesson. You don't want no all ages meetups neither.
What happened with that?
Wasn't there some kid that came up?
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, that was one thing. But yeah, it did suck. The kid that, like, it's because I'm the nicest and most approachable, I think,
Yeah.
of the guys. Maybe not nicest, but most approachable, right? That this kid, he was probably like 14 and I think autistic, and his mom was with him. Pulled me aside at the meetup. I can't remember which meetup this was at. Oh, it was the Toledo meetup, because that was on a street that had wristband authentication. It was like an open drinking street.
Yeah.
And if you were a kid, as long as you didn't have a wristband on, it didn't matter. Like, you could bring a kid down there. So that one was all ages just by the nature of where the venue was. And this mom and his kid walk up to me. Now, keep in mind, dude, at this point, I was not a co-owner of anything. I was a contractor on DP, right? I was fireable every month. You know what I mean? I had no interest in the show, monetarily speaking. I didn't own anything about the show. I had no contact information about things about the show. I was just a guy that worked for the guys that owned the show. His mom walks up to me and she's like, something about the t-shirt, and they sent him, he ordered a t-shirt, they sent him the wrong size, and she wanted to send it back. And I was like, ma'am, I don't handle the t-shirts. It's like, Ben is over there, you know what I mean? TJ is over there. They're probably the dudes you're gonna want to talk to. Well, I talked to them and they didn't seem to have any answers, and my son, he's just your favorite. You're his favorite. And blah blah blah. And it was like, holy shit, lady. No, you know what it was? She came to the 16-bit one too. That one was age restricted on the inside, but she was there with her son and we were hanging out outside. Pulled me aside there. I told her, like, I'll ask Ben about it, right? I was trying to be nice. Oh, thank you. I asked Ben about it and he was like, I don't know what you're talking about, dude. There's an email address. Tell her to send an email. I was like, I don't want to tell her to do anything because I don't know. And then in Toledo, she was there again, and I finally had to just, I was like, lady, are you, like, come on. I told her exactly like that. I was like, dude, I don't have any power over that. I'm literally an employee of the show, right? They don't let me see their numbers. They don't let me access their orders. I can't check the email you need to write an email to. You got the wrong fucking guy. Not to be rude, but leave me alone. Leave me alone. Someone brought their autistic child to a DP meetup. Yes, to two DP meetups. The Columbus and the Toledo meetup were haunted on the outside by an autistic child who wanted a t-shirt. You know what? I'm remembering this wrong.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a problem with the t-shirt.
No.
She wanted a free t-shirt for her autistic kid
I see.
because he was such a big fan. And I was like, lady, I don't got a t-shirt. I don't even own a t-shirt from the show. It's too expensive. I live in a 1-bedroom apartment, lady. I don't have money. I don't have t-shirts to give out, you know? And then it was 2 in a row. Yeah, that's what it was. It wasn't even a problem with the t-shirt. No, I'm remembering. Ben had said offhand on some show that if somebody answered some question that he would give them a t-shirt. and the kid had answered it. And I don't even remember this happening. The lady was claiming that he was owed a free t-shirt. And I was like, why don't you go talk to Ben about it? Well, I did, and he doesn't remember it. And I was like, I don't remember it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she was autistic too. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. At this point, I don't even really think that comes into it. It was just, you know what I mean? I'm there trying to get drunk and have fun, and I'm working customer service. It's like, no, no, no. This is not where you do that. I literally cannot. You're right. It was something. Something, either he felt he was promised a t-shirt, or he felt he had won a t-shirt, or he had tried to order a t-shirt and it never came. There was some kind of thing with a t-shirt. That's all I remember. Because now my brain is trying to place it at all three of those things. So it has to be one of those things. Something about the official smoke pan every day, which I think is stupid to get your autistic fucking kid anyway. But he wanted the OG smoke pan every day DP shirt. And there was some shit about it where he was supposed to have one coming to him and it never came, or some shit. I don't even remember. And I had no clue. I had no memory of this. Had nothing to do with it. Ben couldn't remember it. TJ just didn't care. You know what I mean? He was like, what? I don't fucking know. I was like, okay. Questionable parenting. I mean, whatever. The kid was into it, you know. But it was just like, you're gonna bring your kid, don't bring him with a problem.
Yeah.
Just bring him and be like, hey, Paul, I know, it's 18 and up, but could you take a picture with my son? He's a big fan. Absolutely. Come here. You know what I mean? That's what you do, right? Can you autograph this? Already have the t-shirt with your kid so I can autograph it for him. That would be a cool thing to do for your kid.
Look at how much money she spent just to ask you that question.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. And it's like,
she could have just
do you not understand that, like, had you come the right way, you probably could have got your kid a picture with all the cast, because I would have went and rounded them up for a little autistic kid. You know what I mean? Picture with all the cast, get something signed, and instead you were just like a problem lady outside that everybody was just like avoiding because they knew you were bitching about something that nobody had any idea. And it's just like, why, if you're gonna bring your kid to something, why make yourself a pariah at those places? It makes no sense to me.
Karens know no bounds.
Karens have no fucking natural socialization instinct. They just go above and beyond, no matter what. Yes. The It's Gorilla shirt that TJ made in 2 seconds and that was available for like, I don't know, 3 or 4 days before we took it down. There was a dude at, not the Vegas meetup, but the one before that had the It's Gorilla. The, New Orleans meetup. He had the It's Gorilla shirt.
Yeah, that's funny. I spooked some people at the New Orleans meetup for DFF because people didn't know I was your girlfriend.
Oh. But how did you spook them?
Well, they just started talking to me, and then they're like, "Oh, you're Paul's girl."
Oh yeah, you were undercover over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we had just started dating.
Yeah. I'd only done that one stream with you.
Yeah, that's true.
Haven't posted any selfies together on Instagram or nothing yet.
Yeah. You were undercover. Incognito. looked into Bitcoin? Not really. I'm not really looking for a place to take my money, what little I have, and throw it into something else in hopes that it multiplies my money. But with the risk that it divides my money severely. That doesn't seem like a good thing to do. And so I just don't. Maybe I'll pay for that in my old age. I don't know. But yeah, I'm not an investor. I'm a saver. Did Brett Keane make a Paul Zigo shirt? I mean, it didn't fail because like 8 or 10 or 20 people bought that Paul Zigo Born to Fail shirt or whatever. A couple of people. It was Walrus Ego is what it was. And he put my face on a walrus and it said Born to Fail on it.
You should have just copied the design and been like, what now?
Yeah, there you go. Now we're selling it, bitch.
Yeah.
Did you see Qatar gifted Trump a $400 million luxury jet? Yes. And everybody's fucking this is the thing this week that everybody's going to be going ape shit about with Trump, as if there's not worse things in the world than Trump grifting.
It's distracting from the budget wanting to cut Medicaid and stuff.
It's distracting from the budget. It's distracting from the fucking ICE deportations. It's distracting from the Ukraine war, which, he keeps claiming is solved, but continues to kind of grind on.
That's his strategy. Distract with outrageous things.
And this is the outrage of the week. This is the thing that liberals are going to be whining about this week. And in the end, it doesn't even fucking matter.
And they're just going to slip the budget right under.
Yep.
Because the budget's boring. Burying the lead.
Yep. Bury the lead, bury the lead, bury the lead. So all the actual shitty things his administration are doing and all the actual shitty things that are happening despite his administration that we need his administration to address, all of those things get swept to the margins of people's fucking consciousness. And all a fucking lib can do is whine about Trump getting a $400 million jet when he's president. Whine about Trump saying that he wants to annex Canada. Whine about, you know what I mean? And Trump is just a fucking master at it. He is a master at keeping his name in the top of the headline. Dude, I checked the news app on my phone today. I'll see if it's still that way. I'll go on this one. I just opened it just to see. Look, Trump. Big money deals, pomp, and delicate diplomacy mark Trump's trip to Saudi Arabia. Trump. Tariffs face their first legal test. This is all, I'm just scrolling down. So there's, the DOJ jet offer. Trump giving refugee status to South Africans.
Only the white ones, though.
It took me 3 full fucking scrolls to get one that isn't about Trump. Texas is going to have a heat wave this summer. See what I mean? Trump, 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 Trump.
It's not that the Cotter thing isn't outrageous, but you have to temper your outrage. You have to realize that
it is the least outrageous thing on a list about a fucking billion miles long of outrageous bullshit. It is just a distraction. It's $400 million in a world that's burning.
Yeah.
Who cares? And we've got Congress looking, and it's like, why don't you look into why
negotiating with each other for the budget?
Yeah,
like, that's their job.
Why don't you look into the budget? Why don't you look into why Congress's approval ratings?
And
look into why your approval ratings are 10% or below.
Yeah.
Start working. Quit whining. Quit grandstanding. Quit burying the lead with Trump, and get to work. They won't, though, because they don't. Behind the scenes, they love Trump. They love him. They're making money hand over fist.
It's a cakewalk for whoever the next Democrat is, because they just have to campaign on
Trump,
restoring.
Trump bad. Trump bad. we can Trump, we gonna get rid of Trump. They ain't even have to promise anything.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be like, I'm not Trump.
Yeah.
Trump is awful. Trump did this. Trump said that. He got a $400 million jet from Qatar. They're not even gonna have to They're not gonna have to make a promise to the American people. They're gonna literally run for probably the next 2 or 3 cycles at least on I ain't Trump, and they're gonna lose. They might win the presidency for 4 years, but then they're gonna lose because that's what they do. I don't know, man. Kamala tried to say I'm not Trump. It didn't work out too well. Are you listening? What did I just say? Running on I ain't Trump, Trump bad, is a loser. Always gonna be a loser because people are fucking fatigued with it, bro.
Yeah. And people were like, I understand you're not Trump, but you're also
What are you?
presiding over all this inflation.
Right.
People are like, well, fuck it.
Well, people were like,
You're
yeah.
not even admitting that inflation's a problem.
Right.
They were trying to campaign on Bidenomics like everything was hunky-dory.
Right. This is garbage.
Gaslighted people.
It's just garbage, and people aren't stupid. Some people are, but most people aren't stupid. They know when they're being lied to. They know when they're being gaslit.
Yeah.
They're just weary to fucking shit of Trump in the media. Every time Trump, lays a wet fart, it's like fucking breaking news, and that's all we talk about for a week. And the only thing that distracts us from it is something else. Trump has a gangly toenail. Trump.
Someone made a crazy AI video of Trump.
Yeah. Trump posted an AI picture of himself dressed as the Pope. Trump. You know what I mean? How is inflation now, dumb?
No, I'm not saying that Trump was a solution. That people just didn't vote for the Democrats again because the Democrats weren't even admitting that it was a problem.
Right. Yeah. I ain't no Trumper. Trump's an idiot.
Like, he's not the solution, but people were just sick of the administration not doing it.
I'm talking about what a loss it is if you oppose Trump to get caught in the whirlwind of whining about everything that Trump says and does. You're not building, you're not coalition building, you're not bothering the Democrats to actually get off their ass and do something to oppose this apparently despotic president, right? You're just whining about how he posted an AI thing dressed as the Pope. You're whining that he's getting a gift from Qatar. You're whining, complaining, calling him Cheeto Head. It's just, it's not going to win. Sorry. No, it's all good. Like, that's not a winning strat.
Oh, that's your old cup, baby.
I know. Get it out of the way. Was. Chair, chill out, chair. Hide your power level chair. Nice cabin. Dude, I kind of wish it was a cabin. I wish it was further in the woods like this. But if I had 6 acres, trim a thin drive back into the woods, private, so gated at the entrance, private drive, a little clearing back in the woods, house, and then just woodlands all around me. That's ideal to me, right? This is not quite that. This is in a small but relatively well established suburban neighborhood. So no. The RV life thing, is an interesting thing to look into, but like what we found is it just doesn't fit my job. Like the big problem with RV life remains, where the fuck do I have a studio? Like I don't need a giant cavernous studio. Like I got a pretty big studio now. I could do with a smaller studio. But I gotta have a studio, and where do you put that? Think Amish products are overrated? I don't know, man. I've never lived near the Amish, and so I don't know that I've ever purchased anything of Amish make, so I couldn't tell you. Yeah, Amish are mostly like Pennsylvania and Kentucky, and right? Am I right about that? I think I'm right about that. When I get a big ass RV with a trailer hitch. Yeah, see, this is the thing, Phoebes, right? Big ass RV of the type I'm talking about. You're talking about like a 30-foot RV or more. Then you're talking about towing a subsidiary trailer behind that, right? It's just like I don't know how much. Like I know you've done a lot of like traveling, but I don't know how much like trailer work you've done. I don't know how much RV work you've done. Like setting that shit up and tearing it down is not easy. Pulling shit like that into a camp space in a different town every day is not easy, bro. It is just a lot of bullshit. And the idea of that is like I'm not going to have any kind of privacy there. If I'm going into RV camping spots and stuff like that, there's no privacy in that. Right? I'm going to be literally right next to another family on vacation. Their kids are going to be screaming, and I'm not going to be able to have any grounds to tell them, "Hey, quiet down, I'm working over here." It's like, no, it literally doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. As cool as it would be. Well, I've done a lot. My dad lived in a big, nice RV for many years. My mom and stepdad towed a trailer for many years. Just recently traded that in and got an RV. And I've done a lot of camping and setting up with all of them. Phoebe, sound insulation is not magic. Sound insulation is oftentimes dependent on construction material, right? Like people think you can just buy those little egg carton crate things and just line something with it and it makes it soundproof. That's not the way it works. Yeah, those things stop sound bounce. Those are not soundproofing. So there is absolutely no way to soundproof a trailer that's going to be parked right next to families with screaming kids. Like, it would be $1 million endeavor to attempt to create a soundproof chamber in there. It's just not feasible. Yeah. An RV trailer would be hot depending on where I was, right? And so it would be incumbent on me, if I live this type of life, to always be in a place like this, right? Always be in a place like this where it just doesn't, you don't need AC because you can just crack a window. But then cracking a window makes it not soundproof. You're starting to see, just start running into all of these absurd roadblocks. And you go like, whoa, we can fix this with this, and we can fix this with this. And it just starts to look like what you need is a house, bro. So, sorry. Yeah, this ain't gonna happen. The walls being thick is not the problem. It's the chintzy windows. The chintzy windows on trailers are your number one problem for soundproofing. You do not have dual paned windows on most trailers. And getting dual pane windows fabricated and installed on a trailer, you're talking about 20, 30 grand above the price of the trailer. Getting a box trailer with no windows, no, this ain't gonna work. This is just not like, you've seen a box trailer, dude. I'm not able to stand up. I've got to, you know what I mean? Like, that just ain't that. Listen, I appreciate the brainstorming. It just ain't possible. We looked at it. We looked at it. Our best case scenario had us towing a big panel van, right? So tow a big panel van. The inside of the panel van is sound insulated. We park the RV in some place that's like public, right? Like a public camping ground. Then I jump in the panel van, go way up in the middle of the woods, and pull off on some campground with hardly anybody in it. I put the Starlink on top, and I do the show from the back of a panel van. Then I drive the panel van back down the mountain to where my RV is camped, and I go to bed. And if I got a show the next day, I get back in the panel van and I drive back up the. You see what I'm saying? You starting to see? It just doesn't make any sense. It was a cool idea, but doesn't make any sense. Not for what I do for a living. If I was more of a, like, if all I needed was like office space, like if I was a dude that did data entry or typing most of the day, it would work for that, I think. I think I could make that happen. If that's how I made my bread, was just, was a coder or whatever. But I do a show, so I kind of have to be able to be, have a privacy. I have to be able to say what I want. I have to have access to the electricity and internet and all of that shit, and have it be stable. Yeah. At this point in my life, like, I'm not exactly talking about going to a place where there's like, it's completely labor and maintenance free. Like, I'm talking about living out in the woods. There's going to be maintenance of that. Talking about wanting a couple of little farm animals, you know what I mean? A goat, some chickens. There's going to be maintenance to that as well. So, I'm gonna make it my channel's goal to do a feasibility study on this trailer idea. I mean, I'm telling you, Phoebes, you don't need to. It's like you don't need to put your head up a butcher's ass to get a look at a ribeye. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You don't. There are better ways. There are better ways. Yeah, sometimes you just take the butcher's word for it. Yeah. Don't look at me, man. I ain't your daddy, and I ain't having it. Don't look at me, dude. I got proof. I ain't your daddy. Proof. Go looking elsewhere. There was another fat, hairy bastard. How many chickens would you have? How many chickens? I don't know. 6 to 10 chickens? You know, 6 to 10 hens. The awful weather here wiped out most of our flock. Like what heat? Like a heat wave? Storms. Damn. Oof. Oh, that is muffed up there. That there sounds pretty muffed up there. Oh, that's a shame. I'm sorry to hear that. That's a goddamn shame. Yeah, that's tough. But yeah, that's the dream, man. A little goat, some chickens. I might end up getting like a brother or sister for Dinor. A farm, like not a farm dog, but like a guard dog. You know, like a flock type animal. That wants to be outside and that wants to kind of have his little place outdoors at night, and that'll chase off the coyotes and alert me if there's something big back there that I gotta go get the shotgun for. You know what I mean? An Australian cattle dog is a good option. Yeah, there's a couple of good options. I mean, I grew up with well, I had an Irish setter when I was a kid. Beautiful dog, Casey. And then we had golden retrievers. I don't know that they would be as good, the Goldens. The Irish setter was very, very perfect for that type of work. Great Pyrenees. I don't know about all that, dude. I don't know that I want to get a dog that is technically like purebred or something. I think I'm gonna look to adopt a dog that will enjoy that life. You know what I mean? So, and this is all assuming, right? I'm presuming I can make the magic trick happen. I can finagle it all. But I have a vision. That vision is clear and direct. Any international travel? I don't really see it in my, like, not this year for sure, but maybe in the next 5 years. I don't know. I got a little something. I got a little something in the works. Very nascent, very beginning. I got a little plan. Let's just put it that way. I got a plan. And one of the things that I've learned in my life is that you can make a plan happen. You can do it. I've done it. I've done it a couple of times. I've been like, I got a plan, man. I want to do X. And then I did it. Bucket list of places to visit. I don't have much of that, man. You know, like, if money and time and all of that, travel were not a factor, I'd like to see China. I'd like to see Japan. I would like to see Greece. I would like to see the city of Prague. I would like to see, I don't know, man. South America would be nice to visit, like go to Uruguay. That might be good. Yes, I have the concepts of a plan. That is right, blind programmer. Exactly. Still interested in going to DC to try and speak to reps? Yes. Yes. Yes, I think that that would be, if nothing, an interesting piece of content to make. So, yes. I don't know how it fits in with what we're doing already this year, but we'll see. Scotland. I would like to go to Scotland and Ireland. I didn't mention them, but my families are from both of those, right? My mom's side of the family is from Scotland. My dad's side of the family, British Irish. Which rep would you like to speak to the most? Fetterman, bro. I want to catch Fetty Wap. I want to do some crazy shit. Like I want to go up to Fetty Wap and I want to like try and sell him the knuckle bone of a Palestinian child on a necklace. Be like, look, dude, I know you'd be interested in this, bro. All right, I got a guy in the IDF, bro, and he's selling these. These are the hottest new thing, bro. This is a Palestinian child's knuckle bone on a necklace, bro. Come on. I want to give it to you, bro. Just wear it. Let's put like a chicken bone on there, you know? Who's your backup if you can't get the feta? Bro, if I can't get the feta, I mean, I don't know. Some of the ones I'd really like to get are going to be kind of ungettable. You know, they're not going to be. But it'd be cool to get like AOC. I'd like to charge up AOC a little bit. See what she, you know, like do a little trolling and see how she reacts. You know, any of the remaining original squad, it would be interesting to talk to them and see how they feel about their non-opposition. See how they feel after rolling over again and again. Ask them how they've benefited from that rollover. What's the name of that guy that like got kicked out because he like stood up and interrupted Trump? I want to talk to that guy because I was like, how do we inspire some sack in the rest of your colleagues, sir? I can't remember what his name was, but how do we get the rest of your colleagues to have a pair of balls? Al Green, yeah, I'd like to get Al Green. MTG, if I could get Neanderthal Barbie, oh, I would love to sidle up to her. Like, see, that's the thing is I got to get like a pack of stuff if I do this. I have a MAGA hat that I can wear, so that if I see MTG, I put the MAGA hat on real quick and I rush over to her, and she, obviously, MAGA, we love you. I got to keep her on the hook for a second, and then I got to say some sus ass shit and see if she just goes along with it. Mitch, you ain't gonna get Mitch, bro. Mitch turns into bats and flies out the Capitol Dome at night. Dude, look at MTG and tell me she's not Neanderthal Barbie, bro. Tell me it don't fit. Yeah, instead of holding pussy ass signs. Like, I wanted to ask Al Green, like, why didn't you bitch slap that autistic guy that kept the Democrats from entering that building? Remember that, like, one autistic dude that they had standing in front of the Department of Education or whatever it was, right? Elon's Doge was going through all that shit, and there was just, like, one autistic dude standing there. I was like, why didn't you guys just mollywop that guy? Beat him up and go in there. It's your fucking purview. It's like, when are we going to get to the point where some of you are willing to go to jail for justice? That's what we sent a lot of you motherfuckers up to do. Not to go along to get along, not to stand there and have a photo op. Beat that fucking autistic guy up and go in there. Who is one person you wish you met before they died? I don't know. I have one of those, bro. I guess more like I wish I would have had the opportunity to see Nirvana before Kurt died. I was a little too young. I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. I wish I had a girl who looked good, I would call her. Wish I had a rabbit in a hat with a bat and a 6'4" Impala. How old was I? So was it 94 that Kurt killed himself? 95? 96? I can't remember. I'll tell you what age I was if you tell me what year he died. Who would be entertaining to troll? Alex Jones would be entertaining to get in a back and forth trolling with. Ben Shapiro. Pretty much any of these like right wing dudes. Charlie Kirk. Charlie Littleface Kirk. Matt Walsh. Matt children's author Walsh. 94. April 94. So I would have been just 14. So I would just have turned 14 because I was born in April of 1980. April Fool's Day. So I would have been just 14, yeah. Hassan would be kind of fun to troll. Bro, I don't mean to be a hater or whatever. I'm not trying to but what is that dude wearing? I saw a video of him being interviewed recently. I think he just was at some pack or conference or whatever. He came walking out on stage, right? And you guys remember those slam dancer pants? You know what I'm talking about, man? The hard style. Do you guys remember hard style pants? Hard style pants that are just like, they're not too big, they're not baggy. They look like they're clownishly huge. Clownishly huge. No, 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 no. Look up hard style pants, bro. Here, I'll just do it right here. I'll show you a picture, dude. Hard style. Hard style pants. Hard style pants. Yeah. Yeah. This is the stuff. This is the stuff. Let's see. I gotta find people in the hard style pants because it's kind of hard to visualize, though. Yeah, like this. Like this dude here. You see this fella? See that guy? That's hard style pants, right? Where the jeans are flared all the way out. Like they don't cut in at all around the ankle or anything. It's just like straight up like you're wearing clown pants, right? So these were like a joke pretty much to anybody that wasn't hard style. And now like he's wearing those, but with none of the like cool designs on them at all. Like at least no flames or nothing. It's just like big, giant, clownishly huge black hard style pants. And I was like, and then he's wearing this little top that almost is a crop top, bro. Like his little shirt, button-up shirt. And it came to like right there, you know what I mean? And he's wearing these huge plouffe pants. And then like these, like, I'm sorry to use the fucking 90s term for it, these gay ass shoes. And I was like, damn, is that what fashion is? Is fashion happening? Damn, I missed out. I missed out. Talking about Hassan.
Yeah.
Like, he's a good-looking guy, but I do not understand how he dresses.
And you see he got held at the border?
Yeah, he got, like, interrogated at the border or whatever. Yeah. I mean, I would too. I would have to do an extra search because those pants are absurd. You could fit 2 or 3 like illegal migrants in those pants with him. One hugging each leg. I will say this about Hassan. Hassan has made some questionable choices in regards to vocalizing support for things like Houthis, specific Houthis and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like, I don't know, man. He interviewed a Houthi kid and had him on to do a bunch of Houthi propaganda and stuff. And he's like, pretty routinely will play like Houthi terrorist kind of propaganda music where it's like, he likes that shit and he'll play it on his stuff. It's like, dude, I don't support him being detained at the border, but I think we know why he was detained at the border. You know what I mean?
They were asking about Hamas, not Houthis.
Well, Hamas, that's what I read the list of things that he said he was interrogated about. It was Trump, Hamas, Houthis, and there was one other, I think it was Israel or some shit. The kid wasn't a Houthi. Well, whatever. The kid was a Houthi supporter, right? And Hassan, if you watch the interview, clearly thought he was a Houthi.
Mm-hmm.
He tells him he's like Luffy from One Piece, who's a pirate, but a good guy. Not that I'm saying I find any of that disagreeable or whatever. I don't mind the Houthis doing what they were doing, right? I don't think it was I wasn't Mr. Shiver over international maritime trade guy. But, you have to factor that in when you're talking about coming back into the United States from traveling abroad. You're probably going to get questioned if your name is associated with that shit. I mean, it is what it is. Like, it's one thing to empathize with the people whom these terrorist organizations represent and come from, right? And it's another thing to support these terrorist organizations, right? Like, I'm not saying it's wrong to choose either way, but I'm just saying those are two different things, right? And I would imagine that the United States is probably going to question you at the border if you do one of those two things, right? If you're an open supporter of organizations that the United States classifies as terrorist organizations, right, you're probably going to be questioned at the port of entry or whatever the fuck. Paul, why is Hassan popular? Any analysis? I mean, this is very surface level because I do not watch Hassan. I just am not, I don't get it, right? I think that he is a good looking dude who is young enough to speak lingo, and it attracts an audience largely of young men, probably. Although, because he's good looking, probably a lot of young women as well. Um, uh, and passionate kind of lefty types so that's why I think he's just a really good looking, probably well spoken in some ways. Although I got to be honest with you, I haven't listened to like 10 minutes of Hassan speak ever. You know what I mean? I just don't. It's not my thing. But I think it's like that. There's a need for like a male role model in this generation, and a lot of boys, I think specifically, but maybe girls as well. And I think that Hassan is just old enough and mature enough to kind of fit that like cool young dad kind of role in people's lives. And I think he's like young enough to credibly and legitimately speak the lingo and all of that stuff. And it gives young people who are politically aligned to the left something to attach to. That would be my guess, having not consumed his content a lot. Well spoken is generous. Well, like I said, this is me knowing about Hassan, literally filtered through other people's content, and because he's ubiquitous and kind of the lefty community on YouTube and elsewhere, right? Like, I don't watch Hassan, but you still like Creeps McPasta? Yeah, I still listen to Creeps McPasta. Didn't he work for the Young Turks back in the day? Hassan? I think he did, yeah. Well, Cenk is his uncle. So, if I'm not mistaken about that, right? I believe that's true. Cenk Uygur is Hassan Piker's uncle.
Yep, you're right. I was just double checking.
Yeah.
So he kind of got nepoed into
Yes.
media space.
Yes. Which, whatever. I mean, you get in where you fit in. Yeah, he wouldn't have gone very far if he didn't have some sort of talent at garnering an audience, right?
Mhm.
There's a ton of people that have been on fucking Young Turks that aren't doing much now. You know what I mean? Hassan really did kind of take that and build something with it, right? So you can't take that from him. But yeah, as to why he's popular, I think it's that. I think he's popular with kids, young folk. Hard for me to like a rich motherfucker. I mean, watcher. I feel you on that. I have not watched The Atheist Experience in a long time, no. After talking with him, what's his name? I can't remember. Matt something, right? Because we talked with him I think one time, or maybe twice on DP. I found him to be a little bit arrogant and kind of hard to deal with. Dillahunty, yeah, there you go. Matt Dillahunty, yeah. I don't think it's pointless debating religious people, but you know, I don't think it's very fun to watch past a certain point. You know what I mean? I think it becomes really rote. I did it for, when I first started YouTube, that was kind of what I did. Find religious videos and respond to them and get in these back and forth video wars. You think it's safe to call TYT controlled opposition at this point? Controlled opposition? I have to be honest with you, bro. I don't watch TYT, right? I see clips of TYT. Here's what I understand is happening with TYT, right? I think that TYT are trying to be populists, and I think that it is not working out for them. I think that they're trying to reach across the aisle, and I think that it won't be long until the right wipes its ass with Anna Kasparian. It's just an arc that I've seen before. It's like there are ways, like, reach out to people, right? Reach out to people. Don't reach out to pundits, because these people that are like snuggling up to Anna Kasparian because she's willing to sit down and entertain right-wing drivel, right? They're gonna use her up and they're gonna fucking throw her away. The knife is already fucking poised, and it's gonna land right at the moment that it needs to. So I think, but I don't know that there's like some sort of like nefarious plot behind them. I don't necessarily think that they are moving to the right politically. I think that they are trying populism. And I think they chose a really odd time to do it, and an odd way to do it, you know? And it's just not working out. It's not playing with their audience. And isn't now the perfect time to do it? I mean, maybe like populism, maybe, but like Trump populism, nah, bro, nah. You know what I mean? Like during a different type of Republican presidency, I could see it, but Trump is, just too divisive. You're gonna get lumped in. Like I said, I don't question their motives on it. I just question their tactics. Yeah. There's nothing that Cenk or Anna is doing right now, right? There's nothing that the Young Turks are doing that's moving us any closer to a populist workers' uprising. And, so. talking about Majority Report is Sam Cedar. Yeah. I mean, I do think that Sam Cedar is a pretty good foil for right wing dudes. I think he's a better guy to send up against a right wing guy than like Destiny or Vosh or any of the other Hassan, right? I think that Sam Cedar's probably going to handle that better, but he doesn't like doing it as much as these other idiots do. You know what I mean? Like he's not seeking that kind of like positive feedback loop that a Destiny is, right? His ego isn't so wrapped up in it like Vosh, right? Or me, to be frank. So yeah, but I just don't watch the guy because I find him to be kind of boring and flat. Mainstream media experience too. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Do you still care for Jon Stewart or this new incarnation of the Daily Show? Not really all that much, I guess. I think I burned out on the Daily Show before Jon Stewart left it. Dude, I was heavy into the Daily Show during like 2004, 2008. You know those electoral cycles. I think I just kind of like I like Jon Stewart. I think he's a smart guy. I think he's good at like skewering, allowing people to skewer themselves, and I think he'd be a viable political candidate in some ways. But as far as like watching the show, I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you I do. I'll watch like clips from it. It just I don't know. I'm burnt on even trying to like laugh at politics, to be honest with you. To keep it a buck. Wow. Any right winger that represents that position well, you watch. No. Nope. There's no left winger that I watch for that. There's no right winger that I watch for that. But that is not unusual for me. I've never been a guy that found punditry worth my time, so. Pretty apolitical in your free time. Functionally, yeah. Functionally, I would say. O-D, O-D. Oh, that's better. Oh, my allergies have been fucky lately, so. Who's that extreme environmentalist dude you were talking about a while back? The one who advocated blowing up dams and whatnot? That's Derek Jensen. I wasn't like like advocating for him. I think that's kind of an uncharitable way of putting it. Like, I find his ideas intensely interesting, and I think he's really well spoken. And I think he's good at pointing out the hypocrisy of centering political jockeying when the world is burning. Whew. Anything of Derek you disagree with? I find his kind of like critique of gender and queer theory to be a little bit sus. But by the same token, some of the critique has merit. He talks about how a lot of the foundational documents of so-called queer theory, Foucault being the center of that, having some pretty suspect ideas about the age of consent and all of that. And it is something that needs to be addressed, I think. But the way that he calls it out in an accusatory manner and the way that he lumps trans people in with it, I think is suspect. Yeah, I've never liked his politics when it comes to that. It's kind of weird. Whoa. Whoa. D. It's okay. Chill out. Chill out. It's okay. Don't worry about it. It's refreshing to hear someone on the left being critical of the Democratic Party for co-opting leftist energy without delivering. I mean, I don't see any other way to be effective from the left. I don't think that buying into the center-right party that calls itself the Democrats, I don't think that that is going to save the world. I don't think it's going to preserve our democracy. I don't think it's going to preserve the status quo even. I think it is a fucking bus straight off a cliff. And so, yeah, I don't see any other way to assert what little influence I may have other than to be a vocal and constant opponent of the Democratic Party. Because when they do have power, they sit on their laurels with it and they govern like Republicans. And that is the source of our problem. Source of that is the center of our problem. It's been go along to get along my entire life, and we've watched the Democratic Party move from a center-left party to a center-right party, and nobody's saying it, right? We're watching. I mean, I think we're not that far from, like, I'm not a big Destiny guy, but he's been, you know, making some tweets and shit lately that are just straight fucking Rush Limbaugh Republicanism. He was made some big whiny tweet about how Americans literally want everything for free. That's what socialized medicine is about, and that's just not the way it works. And I'm just like, dude, are you like, why don't you just how I left the left? How about that? And start like do the normal pipeline. I'm a libertarian. I'm completely not even a Democrat anymore. I'm a libertarian now. And then like 2-3 years down the line, you know, in the grift, you can just be like, I'm straight up a Republican. Yeah. It just stinks, bro. It just stinks. But that's one of the reasons why I oppose the Democratic status quo, is because it has allowed the Overton window to just silently shift so far to the right that now, you know, a centrist Republican is about as good as you get. A Biden centrist. And that's just not, it's not my politics, man. Dinor. Come on now, buddy. You don't need to be boofing no more. There ain't nothing going on over there you need to be worried about, boy. It's a similar thing with art from artists. You have to do with these theorists. Goes on both parties in question. Yeah. I mean, it's just one of those things, bro. And it's like, you know, I get excoriated by people from that sphere, from the Destiny sphere of Voshes and, you know, all the little orbiters turned lefty content creators. I am excoriated constantly for trying to drag that Democratic Party left, for trying to drag that Overton window to the left just enough to maybe shift the momentum for a few generations, you know what I mean? And man, I am treated like one of the, like I'm worse than a Trumpist to some of these people. And it's just like, man, why don't you just become Republicans? Just do it. Just do it. You help get me out of that sphere if it makes you feel any better. I mean, sure. I mean, cool, you know? But I'm not really trying to get people out of that sphere. I feel like the people that are in that sphere, right, have plenty of opportunity to hear contrary opinion, and they choose to continue to support their opinion. I'm not really trying to change people's minds. Even on an individual level, it's not something I really care all that much about. I'm just absolutely fucking dedicated to speaking my own, right? At any cost. When I believe something, I say it. When I have a take, I take the heat for it, right? I'm willing to stand on the principles that I lay out, right? That's all I care about anymore. The rest of it is all fluff. Yeah. Yeah, what about all the people who worked hard to pay off their loans? It's not fair to them, so we can't, yeah, can't pay off the loans. We can't have socialized medicine because, but what about all the people that worked really hard to pay off their medical debt? You know, and that shit's coming out of like Democrats. Get out. Paul, maybe it's not the Democrats that have changed, it's the American people changed to be conservative. Sure, I mean, maybe so. That doesn't change my opposition, you know, and it doesn't change my ability to influence outcomes, which is very little to none, right? So, yeah, I mean, maybe that's true. I don't know. I don't have that mindset, right? I don't have the mindset of someone who's been kind of passively dragged to the right. I don't have the mindset. I mean, what about the people who had to be slaves? You know, there's over 6 million slaves in the world. 6 million slaves, way more than the Roman Empire ever had at the peak of their empire, way more than the US ever had. Six million slaves. Legitimate slaves, not like theoretical capitalistic wage slaves. Legitimately people who work for somebody and aren't allowed to do anything else. 6 million. You want to know something else? That number gets worse. Half of those or more are sex slaves. Capitalism, the highest form of imperialism, yep. Pretty fucked up. Pretty fucked up. Pretty goddamn fucked up. And furthermore, okay, we've been dragged into the political vortex. I'm fine with that, but I say new topic, or I call it a day, because I don't want to talk politics anymore. I'm gonna have to fucking talk politics later, because onion nuggets. You know there's gonna be politics. Politics happened while we were on our off week, okay? How many joints can I smoke? I've never tested my limits. I don't know. Like if I was making a concerted effort to smoke as many joints as possible in a day, I don't know how many I could smoke. Probably a lot of joints.
You probably finish that whole 20 pack, honestly, if you were really concerted about it.
Yeah. You keep up with horror? Yes. I try to. It is my favorite movie genre, and I'm always looking for stuff that I haven't seen. So, yeah, I try to. What are your reflections for your dad being there? I don't know, man. I still haven't processed it all. I mean, a lot of positive. I miss the guy already, which is kind of, I think that's a good sign. It was nice having somebody that was so simpatico, that was very much like me, and that was willing to just sit and talk for hours and hours and hours, even though that was exhausting for me on a certain level, and probably for him as well. I think it was just so cool having just seeing the proclivities, But that's very surface level, you know what I mean? There's a lot of other stuff churning, and I don't know. I guess I can't answer the question yet.
It was good opportunities to reconnect with some other family.
True. Yeah, some of my dad's family lives within long striking distance of me, and so we did that. Did a little tour of my dad's side of the family, people I haven't seen for decades in a lot of cases. And that was nice. That was very nice.
Stiff today, sorry.
You see the trailer for Bring Her Back? Yeah, I did. That's the new movie from the same directors that did Talk to Me. They're doing kind of like viral marketing campaign where they're sending people these thumb drives that have this weird scrambled footage and weird, like, looks like CCTV footage on it and stuff. Yeah.
There's a movie playing right now called Clown in a Cornfields.
Clown in a cornfield?
Yep.
Oh, shit. I would ask you what the premise is, but I think I get it.
Yeah.
There's an evil clown in the cornfield, right?
Yep.
There you go.
That might be fun. A little schlock horror.
Mm-hmm. Might be. Is Sinners still playing? Or no? TJ really wanted me to go see that one, and I kind of feel bad.
Yes.
It is? Maybe we go see Sinners.
Yeah.
When is it playing?
So tomorrow, let's see. It's playing tomorrow too.
Am I? Because we got nothing going on tomorrow, right?
No.
Maybe we can do a double feature. We'll see.
Yeah, we can do it tomorrow.
All right, let's do it. We'll talk about it when I'm done here, but yeah, we'll do it. I haven't seen a movie. I need to get out, see a movie.
But Minecraft is still playing.
Of course it is. I hope that Sinners is not next to the Minecraft movie, because if I hear an explosion of skibbities and chicken jockey through the wall of that theater, I'm gonna be pissed. Not that A24 Smashing Machine trailer looks like The Rock is finally gonna play someone other than The Rock. Cool. I haven't seen that one yet. I saw They Follow teaser trailer thing. I'm doing a sequel to It Follows. I guess there's going to be multiples. It's like you got the herpes and gonorrhea now. That, yeah, angry little squirrels. It Follows was great and unique. I agree. I really liked It Follows when it came out.
I feel like they're gonna try to do a Smile 3, but I just don't feel like it's gonna be worth it. I think they're stretching the premise too far.
Yeah, I mean, Smile is following what I like. A lot of people think Smile 2 is somehow better than Smile 1, but it's following the predictable trajectory for me of a new horror franchise. The first one is good. The second one, sometimes it's good, but it's not quite as good. Then by the third one, it just kind of like...
I think it'll go too ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they'll bleed it dry because it's making them a lot of money.
I guess maybe people thought the protagonist was more relatable to see in Smile 2.
Yeah, maybe so. Best film of the 2020s so far? I mean, it is really hard. Like, from a personal experiential standpoint, it's really hard to pick anything other than The Substance.
Just because it had that impact on you.
Right.
So
and I was expecting literally nothing from it.
Yeah.
Like, it was just a movie I hadn't
it
heard
was
of.
Just, spur of the moment, hey, there's a body horror movie playing. You want to check it out?
Yep. Yep, that's all I knew about it going in, was that it was a body horror flick. Went in, walked out just like blown away, couldn't stop talking about it. Still haven't stopped talking about it and thinking about it. So yeah, it's
robbed at the Oscars.
Robbed at the Oscars, in my opinion. Yeah.
Like, Anora wasn't bad, but
No.
I just don't think it deserved a sweep as...
No, Anora deserved to be recognized, though, and I'm not mad about it getting, because after watching it, on first watch, I was like, fuck, Substance got robbed. But that Anora movie stuck with me.
Mm-hmm.
It's better than I gave it credit for on first watch, because it just, you know, there were things about it that I didn't think about on first watch. Or like directly, and then afterwards I couldn't stop thinking about them. So there was definitely something going on there.
What I don't like about it, though, is they sacrificed the movie budget for the campaigning for the Oscars budget.
Yeah, I mean, that is, I mean, but I don't know. I didn't feel like the movie looked under budget for what it was. I thought it was I don't know. It's a good movie. I haven't seen The Brutalist yet, and that's supposed to be really good. I actually really want to see that, because it's an example of, like, a dude who was nobody in the industry had an idea. he sent that idea around and got to Adrian Brody. Adrian Brody decided to bankroll it and star in it and let the guy direct it. It's like my dream. You know what I mean? Like finding somebody that's already established that's willing to take a chance on a fucking new director, and to have it go all the way to the Oscars is pretty crazy. Want more underwater horror? Yeah, man. I just don't want it to be a ghost, because it's like,
well, it's so hard because so many people aren't going to go to James Cameron level of underwater.
No. And it's like James Cameron level of underwater is The Abyss. Mm-hmm. It's, you know what I mean? Like if you watch the making of The Abyss, James Cameron almost killed those people making that movie, because he was so intent on filming real underwater shit. It's crazy. If you watch the making of The Abyss, it'll blow your fucking mind and give you a whole perspective on Jim Cameron as a director and a whole new respect for him. Because he was just like, he needed these high, futuristic looking underwater suits. The ones that existed weren't futuristic looking enough, so he built brand new deep water diving suits that looked good on camera. He found this huge basin of water somewhere in South America, I think, and he purchased it so that he would have total access to it, right? And it was deep enough that he could sink a real submerged set in it. He would have actors out there in those suits doing underwater stuff over and over and over again, and they would come out like shivering and like, pressure sick and shit. And the crazy thing is, all the actors were like, yeah, we would come out, he would give us breaks every 45 minutes or something. We'd have to come up. We'd come out, another actor would go down to shoot.
But he was just still sitting
But
there.
Jim is still down
James
there.
Cameron.
Yeah. They call him Jim.
Yeah.
Jim is still down there.
Yeah.
In the suit. You know what I mean? He was down there all day. So it's like, what the fuck, man? So nobody's willing to go that far with it. And so the best you're gonna get is these like kind of comical underwater movies,
like pool scenes,
or The Meg, mm-hmm. right, where they're shooting on the ocean and then they do a bunch of like tank shooting, but it's Hollywood shit. It ain't like, let's go buy a fucking water basin that's big and deep and murky enough to make this work type of shit. It ain't happening. That sort of movie is really just like reserved for only a few directors get to command that type of money. And anymore, those directors have so much of their own money wrapped up in the production of the film that they're not even really, these big production companies are just distribution. They're not even really like feeding much money into the project. When it's the case when Scorsese did The Irishman. Mm-hmm. Like he's the executive producer on that. It was mostly his money in that, and then he cut a distribution deal with Netflix.
I just wish Killers of the Flower Moon had been the original concept instead of switching it around just because
stupid ass
DiCaprio.
Yeah, dude, fucking Leo DiCaprio had to be the middle of everything. He had to be the main guy, and it had to be an Oscar bait performance, and he didn't even get a nom. So fuck you, Leo.
Yeah, he wanted to completely flip the script and change the main character completely.
That was one of the most shockingly disappointing movies of the 2020s, was Killers of the Flower Moon.
Because he should have just been that fucking marshal.
Yeah.
That would have been a way better perspective.
Yeah. But no.
He's just retarded bad guy.
I haven't seen The Abyss, but you piqued my interest. What's it about? It's about an underwater research facility slash oil exploration rig, right? But it's future technology that even now, like it's like an underwater base that's kind of cool.
Mm.
And they're right on the edge of this abyss, like it just like where the shelf falls off and it goes down super duper deep. They're doing research and exploration there, and things start happening on the base. I don't want to spoil it for you, but you know, things start happening on the base and in the abyss that are inexplicable and blah blah blah. So yeah, there you go. It's a good movie. It's a really good movie. Is Leo overrated? Maybe in his own head only. I think Leo is a little too big for his britches at this point in his career because he's just been so universally praised. Almost everything he does gets universal acclaim. That now he's starting to think he knows better than like Scorsese.
Yeah, well, he got that one Oscar because he'd gotten snubbed at the Oscars a lot,
Yeah.
and then I think that got to his head.
Wolf of Wall Street, right?
No, I think it was Revenant.
Oh, The Revenant. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, no, I think he's. I don't think he's overrated by most people because he is one of the most talented actors working still, and I mean his fucking filmography is unimpeachable, bro. I mean, you can go all the way back to when he was like 16. He was doing Gilbert Grape. He was doing Basketball Diaries. This is all before he's of legal age. And those are two, like, amazing fucking performances. Just unreal fucking performances. Leviathan was better? Hmm. I don't think so, because I can't remember a fucking thing about Leviathan. But I can remember the whole plot of The Abyss. What's the best Leo movie?
And you like Shutter Island a lot.
Shutter Island. I mean, I don't know if it's the best though. I just find it super rewatchable.
Mm-hmm.
There's something about that movie that I really like rewatching that movie, but I don't know that I would say it's the best thing he's ever done. Um, I don't know, man. It's tough. Let me just pull up his IMDb. I feel like I'll miss something if I don't. Let's see. Hard style pants, bro. Let's see. Uh, Leonardo Wilhelm DiCaprio. All right, give me my filmography. Yeah, all right. DiCaprio's most critically and commercially successful films include What's Eating Gilbert Grape, Romeo and Juliet, another good one, Titanic, yeah. Catch Me If You Can, good one, Gangs of New York, good one, but I didn't realize what a man movie that is. I don't think women like it as much as men do. The Aviator, another good one. The Departed, another good one. Blood Diamond, a little cringe, but a good movie. Shutter Island, I like it. Inception, I like it. Django, Great Gatsby, I could take or leave that. A little too Baz Luhrmann. The Wolf of Wall Street, great movie. Revenant, great movie. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, great movie. Don't Look Up, great movie. Killers of the Flower Moon, eh. So he's got like, and that's not his entire thing, but there's like going back to '93 and going forward to 2003, he's made 13 bangers and 2 13 bangers And 2, eh. It's kind of hard to be judgmental about that career. Kind of hard. Kind of hard to say you would have done something different or better. Anyway, I'm out of here. Watch Onion Nuggets. Join Salt Rackus, discord.gg/PaulsEgo. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.